Welcome to Acres and More. This is Justin. This is our aquaponics slash fish pond. It's Blue Tilapia. We're going to move them to our big pond next year when we get some rain. We've dug them. We'll show you some of that footage. There was 25. We bought them online. We'll give you a link to where we bought them. They're about the size of a quarter. We put them in here. We have ate from it twice. Another good thing about this is there's hardly any maintenance besides cleaning the filter every 6 months or when it fills up. We're currently winterizing it, as you can see with all the foam and stuff. We'll show you how the filter, it was pretty cheap. Some of the benefits I'll show you later is how you can grow, like it's kind of like our greenhouse too, because where the water stays warm, and like in February we can start all of our seeds on top of this, and I'll show you our setup to do that. So when spring hits, we're ready, and our plants could be so high before we get out there. Before we got the fish, we put tadpoles in it and let tadpoles live in there for about 3 months until the water got acclimated enough to handle the fish. And they've been in here for about 2 years now. And so far, so good. Like I said, we've ate it twice, 8 fish out of here twice, about 20 fish per time. And we started with 25. I'm guessing there's around 75 to 100 fish. We had a lot of fry in here, and then they kept spawning over and over again. And with the heater, you can actually raise up the temperature, and about 82 degrees, tilapia will spawn. So you can actually force them to spawn if you want to, but we really don't do that. I'm actually going to bring the temperature down and just to kind of get them dormant for the winter time and slow their metabolism down. That really helps, just get them ready for the winter time. And the blue tilapia can handle cold a lot better than the other tilapia species. You got some ponds in the middle of the process of digging. We're going to eventually move these guys out to the ponds with the prawns. So if you guys want to see that video, we'll show you. And I just kind of want to just take you around and just show you all the little bits on how it works and how it goes. This is your standard Walmart pool. It's about 3,000 gallons, and we didn't do anything special to it. We just set it up. We put a little sand in the bottom, and but it's just a pool. We took the filter out of the pump, but still used the pump. So there's no filter in this, so the water is freely going through the pump here. We got it stuffed with hay to kind of keep it warm through the winter time. And that pump will run up through here to our filter system. Now, this is a pretty simple filter. You just have to clean it once every 6 months. Now I have the big rocks in there to separate the water so it doesn't pool my little rocks. But if the little rocks, the filter basically is a mix of lava rocks and clay pebbles. Now the clay pebbles and rocks are very porous, so they'll hold the bacteria in very well. And that's the secret to this tank, is the difference between good and bad bacteria. And this right here does really well of keeping the good bacteria in. And when this filter is stopped up or not working correctly anymore, it'll fill up into this holes right there. You see I cut right there. It's your overflow hole. So once it starts to fill up, the water hose in there and spray it out, clean all the rocks in there and put it back in there, and you're good to go. Pretty simple. All it is a tote and some lava rocks. Very cheap done, and it works very, very well. We wrap some styrofoam around it just to keep it warm during the winter time. We just set this tote up high, higher than the pool, and it does waterfall down right through here, but we have it winterized so the water doesn't cool down as fast. But during the summertime, we would just have it flowing with none of this into the pond. Right now, we covered the top. Now, if you cover the top of the water, it really, really holds in the heat. And when it gets cold, these pools are not like a pond. A pond will actually cool down very slowly because of the ground temperature. These above ground pools like this will cool down very, very quickly. So you definitely want to keep like any of the cold temperatures out. So the styrofoam really, really helps for that. But once you get the fish in the ground, like in a pond, then you won't have to worry about that. Another good thing about this is we grow a lot of, we start off a lot of our seeds. I'll show you how we do that. We actually use stuff like this. Very simple. So in February, when it's still cold and no one can start, we like to start early. You would just set these on top of the water like this. You get a little plastic cup, a Jiffy prep pad, You just stick it right in there and you set right on here. You do your seeds and then you take plastic and you cover it, and the water temperature will keep it warm. So it'll keep your ground warm and moist. You don't even have to water, and all your seeds will sprout really, really good. And that way you'll be ready for spring when it's time to garden. And that is another good benefit of having this setup. So if you have the space and a little time, it doesn't cost much to do this. Here's some of our plants that there's nothing really here. We have a couple avocado trees and a cactus in here. We was just trying to save over the winter time here. I'll show you those guys right now. See, it stays nice and warm in there. And that's our little avocado tree. We got our cactus over here. And just note to self, when you do take your plants from outside and put them in here, make sure you get all the caterpillars out. I didn't, and he had a field day on my avocado tree. And that's pretty much it right there. Now this is a pretty cheap setup. These lights are just hanging with a 2x4. These lights are 20 bucks at Harbor Freight, very cheap. Doesn't produce heat, so it doesn't have to worry about burning your plastic, nothing like that. But will start your seeds and grow your vegetables very well. Gives the fish plenty of light during summertime. And like I said, this is temporary. This is all going to go. This will be out. These fish will be moved to the pond. But if you guys like stuff like this, and I can show you how to make another tank from scratch, just let me know, and I'll be happy to show you how to do that if you like this kind of content. We're also going to do freshwater prawns the same way, but this is a very good and cheap setup anybody can do. It's not difficult. Everybody wants to make it complicated. The biggest thing is getting your water acclimated, good bacteria, bad bacteria. So just like I said before, when we first before we bought the fish, me and my son went and got tadpoles out of the pond we have back out there. We put a bunch of tadpoles, algae, and big chunks of grass and dirt in the pond, and we let the tadpoles grow up and live in the pond for about almost 3 months. It didn't take very long. And then, like I said, you just take tadpoles out of any creek or stream, throw in your pond, and it will acclimate the water, give it about 2-3 months, and then throw your fish in there. You should have no problem with the fish. They should have all your good and bad bacteria already in there. And don't ever clean the tank. I mean, the biggest mistake people have when they have fish tanks is they want to clean the filter and they want to clean the tank and they want to clean everything and make the water all pretty. And that's not how it works in real life. A pond is not like that. That's not how it works. You want good and bad bacteria. If you are cleaning your tank out every day, you don't have any good bacteria, the nitrogen will build up in the water and kill all your fish. That's why your fish die when you clean your filter in your tank. So I never clean the tank. I'll add water to the tank when it gets low, but I will clean the filter. Every time the filter gets stopped up and it goes over my overflow, it's time to rinse that filter out. And that's all you have to do. And during the February, summertime, and you got plants, the plants actually help clean it out a lot better. But a lot of people say you have to have a lot of plants into your pond. When you do, it helps a lot. But the biggest thing is your bacteria count, good bacteria and bad bacteria. So as long as you get your water acclimated at the very beginning of putting life in, before you put your fish in there, you'll be all right. But this is our cheap setup and it worked good. Like I said, we have a big family and we have ate twice out of here. And they grow fast. Like from fry to 6 months, you'll have a decent fish to eat. They're very cheap to maintain, 1-2 handfuls a day to throw in there. But I suggest everybody that's homesteading or wants sustainable food, this is where it's at. You can grow your vegetables. You can actually keep this here and then grow your vegetables right on top while you're growing your fish. This is a pretty thing, and it's not very expensive like people want to make it out to be. Like I said, all this is just cheap used stuff that we had laying around. This is the old kid's swimming pool, and it worked out just fine. Well, this is it on this. If you guys want to see us putting the tilapia out of this pond to a big pond, let us know. We would love to show you that. And if you guys want to see our prawns, we're going to try to do prawns this spring and throw them in a smaller pond that we've had. And if you like this kind of setup or stuff like this, let us know. We have a lot more content like that. I like to build homemade windmills and stuff like that. So if you guys like to see any kind of stuff like that and kind of stuff that we do around here, you give us a share and a like.